What is going on, everybody? This is the Fresh Baked Goods, and you probably clicked on this video because you want to start winning at Hell Let Loose. And honestly, if you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, it's really a two-word answer: build garrisons. That's it. That's all you gotta do to win this game. Now, before we get into the nice tactical, juicy bits of when and where to build these garrisons, I'm assuming there are a lot of new players in this game. Maybe you just don't know how, or maybe you've been curious about the squad leader role or commander role. And I think we need to talk about the whys and the hows of building garrisons first. So why are garrisons key in Hell Let Loose to winning games? Garrisons are the lifeblood of your team. Realistically, you need two things to win at Hell Let Loose. You need teamwork and you need map control. And both these boil down to garrisons being built. In order to have teamwork, you need to have a place for your team to spawn. In order to have map control, you need to have a team to be there, thus making garrisons the most important thing in this game. So if you've been playing Hell Let Loose and you see that chat start blowing up about there not being enough garrisons built, chances are they're probably right. And that's why your team is currently losing. So now you might be sitting there saying, all right, I'm ready. I want to change this to the team. I want to step into that officer role. I want to get these garrisons built. How do I do it? Garrisons are built by using supplies, and there are three ways to get supplies. A support player can drop it, commander can drop in an airdrop of supplies, and you also have a supply truck back at the HQ. You can use any of these three to help you build a garrison. The game gives you plenty of options, but it is always best when you're utilizing all three ways to get these supplies dropped. The more you use them, the more garrisons you can get up. All right, now let's get into the nice fun part of this when we talk about the tactics of building garrisons, the whens and the wheres. So right here I have a blown up map from a recent match I played on St. Mary Glees. It's right at the beginning, but before we get into it, there is one thing to note. When building garrisons, they now have to be 200 meters apart. 200 meters apart is exactly one grid square, just like that. So the easiest way to figure out where you're going to build these garrisons is, say, you built one right here. Next one, you kind of want to give a build right there. That way you're not wandering around with your watch out looking to see where it can be built. You kind of just know. There are some pros to cons to this. Pros, obviously, it's very easy to keep organized. Cons are, it's a lot easier to tell where garrisons are going to be built now for yourself and the enemy team. So if the enemy team does stumble across this garrison, they're probably going to know where this one is. And that same goes for you when you're looking for their garrisons, when you're attacking. But hey, it's just part of the game now. It's just the way it is. Don't ever hesitate building a garrison because you're worried the enemy team is going to find it. Just get it built. Trust me, you can always rebuild garrisons. It is super easy. Also, it's important to note that even though I'm talking about this map specifically here, these tactics apply to any map. They apply to any point. Just use them, and I guarantee your team will be in a better place. You're gonna start winning more games. But here we are. We're at the beginning of the match. I was on the US side. You can see the German lines. And where do you go from here? Most important part of a Hell Let Loose match is right at the beginning. Going back to what I said earlier, you want map control to win the game. And the most important part of the map is that middle sector that is uncapped at the start. I'm talking about this old big guy right here. That is what you're after. That is the winning section of this map. And it's also key to capping it early because your nodes are going to be worth +10 there. That gives you an instant advantage over the enemy team. You want that middle point. Alright, so how do you cap that middle point nice and early? In a game of warfare, you're gonna spawn with a supply truck at this middle point. I'm now assuming you're playing the role of a squad leader, so you have the ability to build a garrison. Otherwise, why are you watching this? So you hop in that supply truck immediately, and you instantly drive it right here on the line closest to that cap point, and you're gonna immediately plop down a garrison. What is key about this garrison is not only does it instantly feed your team into the attacking sector, but you actually get to that point faster once that garrison's built and you hit that spawn timer there than if you were to spawn immediately and run that way there. So the rest of your team gets to that middle point faster. They get a head start in the point. They can lay down their defensive. You're going to be in a good spot. I mean, this is the key. That is the most important thing you can do in a game of Hell Let Loose to win a game. All right, so you built that garrison. Your team's pushing in, but you're not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to drive that supply truck with the second load of supplies it has, and you're going to build a defensive garrison. I would do it right here on On this map behind artillery battery, you could do it up there, but this is a little more behind the point from hospice in case things go wrong, but we'll talk about that later. That way you have one defensive garrison and one offensive garrison. I cannot stress this enough. You're going to keep hearing me say it. This is the most important thing you could do at the start of the game. This puts you in a very good position. So if everything goes right, in my opinion, you only really need 3 garrisons at the start of a game to be in a good spot. You need 1 defensive anchor and 2 offensive garrisons. You have 1 for the meat grinder that runs straight in there, and you have 1 for a flank that can get in there as well. Meanwhile, you got your good old anchor back here in case someone gets cheeky and takes one of these down. If you do these 3 garrisons at the start of the game, you're gonna be in a good spot. Just do this. Do this on any map, any point. This is the most basic tactic of Hell Let Loose you can do. So let's say that worked. Things went great. That middle point is now blue. Now build garrisons. You can now build nodes. Your team is flying. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to get a garrison down on the point. I'm assuming your team is still fighting. You know, you have some remnants from the enemy team once their OPs are destroyed. And you're going to want to get something there that your team can just spawn in on and make that point yours. Once things calm down a little bit, you're going to want to get another garrison around the point. In this case, since this is up against the edge of the map, I would build one right here underneath hospice for 2 reasons. It's close to the point, so you can just cruise on into it in case that goes down. There's plenty of cover between the buildings. And also, because map control, because you really rely on the roads of this map. You know, you have the chapel down here, you have the crossroads. You can just really control the flow of the game with that second garrison. And what's key about the second garrison, the biggest mistake you'll find in this game is teams only build 1 defensive garrison. If you're currently able to lose a point, if it can be capped, you need more than 1 defensive garrison. So once you have your 2 defensive garrisons built, it's time to go on the offensive. All right, so things have calmed down. You've got your 2 defensive garrisons built. What do you do next? Same strategy as before. You move up, get your meat grinder point. This guy can just push right into harass, you know, just flood it. You know, if it works, it works. If not, it's a good distraction for your flanking point. You want to build this guy down here to control the roads. You up there nice and from the rear. Same thing as before. 1 pushes on, 1 flanks. And of course, you'll have all your OPs in there as well to help you out. And on this map in particular, the good thing about that bottom garrison is say you do cap this next point, an easy way into the last point. An easy win. Again, it's all about map control. Let's say they're putting up a good fight and harass. You know, time goes by, you're not going to take it. You kind of have to hold hospice for the win. This garrison setup is completely defensive. You have 2 on each side, 2 in the middle. You can just lock it down from all points. Again, it's all about map control. Hold the map, you hold your points, you're gonna win. You do that through building garrisons. All right, so let's go back again. Let's say our tactic didn't work. Let's say they did it on the other side as well. Let's say the Germans did the same thing. They flooded the point, they just ended up taking it. They had a tiger up there, who knows what. So the middle section goes red, you can't build in it, but you're in luck. You still have your 2 offensive garrisons that are right on the line. You can counterattack if needed. There's not that many people on the point, you feel like you can flip it real fast, you're able to do so. But what you're also going to want to do is you want to get that second defensive garrison. Like I said before, the biggest mistake you can make in this game is only having 1 defensive garrison on a point that can be capped. This way you have 1 on each side. You could build 1 back here if you want to. I don't think that's necessary if you have these 2 and these 2. 4 is plenty around a point. That should do the job. What I would also do here, since you have to attack hospice in order to win this game, is you're going to want a 3rd flanking garrison. This is your wide flank. You're going to have to assume the enemy's going to be flanking this way as well. This is good for offensive and defensive positions as well. It gives you that extra amount of radar and some more options to attack in there. What is also going to be key, just like you did before when you built that 1 garrison on battery when you were attacking hospice at the start, you're going to want to build a garrison on crossroads. This is your anchor. Point cannot be capped, but in case something goes wrong at battery, you always have something to fall back onto. And what this garrison also does, it lets you know if anything fishy is going on at crossroads. Recon's back there trying to destroy that garrison. You know, you can know if you have to go back there and rebuild it, you know what's going on with behind you. It's just more map control. It's more awareness. It's gonna help you out. But this is it. This is the most basic general tactics for Hell Let Loose in any situation. Like I said before, this can be applied to any map, any point. Just have to build the garrisons around it. And that's really it. These are the most basic general tactics to Hell Let Loose. If you do these and build these garrisons, you're gonna win more games than you lose. I promise you. And it all goes back to these 3 first garrisons at the start. If you join a game late and it's going bad, just wait for that next game, immediately do this, and you're gonna see the tides turn. This is how you stop the steamroll. This is how you steamroll other teams. Do this, get your team kickstarted, and you're gonna be in a good place, man. This is how you be a good officer. This is how you be a good commander. It's just by building garrisons. It's just as simple as that. Anyways, if you do have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to help. I just hit level 10 on squad lead, so I like to think I know what I'm talking about. If you did find this helpful at all, please give the video a like. It really helps me out, helps this channel grow. If you want to stick around, see some more Hell Let Loose content, please consider subscribing. But thank you for watching. Thank you for everything you do. I'll see you dudes on the front line.